The Salam Alaykum project is funded by the Department of Attorney General. It's the Federal Attorney General Department. It was funded for 1 year, and the reason that Darebin Council did apply for the funding is to continue long history of working in collaboration with the Islamic Society of Victoria, specifically on improving and developing community relations between Muslims and non-Muslim communities. So its roots, if you like, started back in 2001 and following September 11, and since then Council has been doing a lot of projects and making a lot of effort at a number of fronts to build positive community relations and raise awareness about Muslims and Islamic culture, to gain better understanding between residents in Darebin in general and our Muslim communities as well.
The City of Darebin has a Memorandum of Understanding with the Preston Mosque, and the purpose of the Memorandum of Understanding is to formalise our relationship with the mosque. It's quite a unique document. I don't believe any other council has actually developed such a formal relationship with a mosque in their own municipality, and it really helps us. It helps the council, and in terms of mutual vision and ensuring that we have a good communication flow between the mosque and the council. Yeah, look, the purpose of the Memorandum of Understanding is again, one is to establish that relationship between the Preston Mosque and the City of Darebin, the idea of a shared vision and the idea of collaborating together.
Okay, about a year ago, the council and mosque both agreed that there was a need to address some issues in the community, especially regarding the youth. We left it for a little while we come up with some ideas, and in the meantime, the Attorney General's Department opened up an opportunity for grant applications. We started filling in a grant application, and Cesar called me up and asked if we could supply a letter of support. And I said, funnily enough, we're going to contact you for the same thing. After a short discussion, we agreed that we would do a joint application, and obviously that would increase our chances of getting approved, because we don't have two people trying to get the same thing, and the Attorney General has to try and decide which one's better than the other. So we worked together and it was approved. And this project, the Salam Alaykum project that you mentioned, aimed at youth, young boys and girls, and from the Muslim and non-Muslim community. And together they did some activities, including a digital story, a soccer game, which we call the Intercultural Cup, a camp, and some other things as well.
When it came to DIF, we began to talk about things like social isolation, the experiences of people out of coloured communities who find it really difficult to engage in. So the intention was to try and create a number of avenues or access points for people to connect through culture and events. And so things like the soccer tournament, things like going on the camp, and the other things that were developed were around trying to break some of those isolation, or some of the isolation that occurs through being coloured communities, culturally and linguistically diverse. And one of the frustrations often when people are isolated is that they then have that sense of disempowerment, which then leads to a sense of aggression. So we were trying to break some of the negative spiral that occurs in those spaces.
The Darebin Interfaith Council was instrumental, obviously, in the whole project, because we were attracting not only the Muslim youth but also youth from other groups. So through them we were able to attract people from other faith groups as well.
بنت الكرام الأوفياء وبخولة وسمية لك سيرة فيها الإباء يا سيرة الخنساء يا بنت الكرام الأوفياء وبخولة وسمية لك سيرة فيها الإباء.
The workshop with the Imams was actually a very significant workshop. It was amazing. We were actually able to have most of the Imams from the Board of Imams arrive at this workshop, and this also showed how much they wanted this forum to run. I think we had over 20 Imams present.
The Human Rights Forum had the title Seek an Answer, standing up for our human rights in our everyday lives and relationships. So that was to bring human rights to the day, to how we live, but importantly to begin to understand how to use the Human Rights Charter, which is law in Victoria, as a tool for us as community, as people using services, as citizens of Darebin, as citizens who are very diverse. But we began that forum with a really interesting process, which I would like to share some of the ideas that came up, which was we explored the principles of human rights, and they are freedom, respect, equality and dignity. Now, these are big ideas, and sometimes they feel like out there. But what we did is we asked people, what do any of these mean to you in your life?
We had 9 kids who attended the leadership program who wanted to lead the rest of the community. They've attended a few classes, they've learned communication skills and event planning, first aid, and also food and safety handling, and also soccer coaching. They took their skills from there and then they designed a soccer tournament, intercultural soccer tournament. The tournament was very successful. They have done an amazing job. The tournament was held at EPIC, East Preston Islamic College. We were expecting about 18 teams, but we've got about 16 teams. That we had to do, they changed the schedule, but yeah, which we managed to do well.
The good thing about the competition was at the start of the day, some of the teams didn't have enough players, so some of the other teams just volunteered their players, and that was really great to see, in that they knew it was going to be a serious competition, but at the same time it was for fun. It's an opportunity for them to meet and play with people from diverse cultural and faith backgrounds. Because it was a women-only environment, we could only have women walk into the gym, really enjoyed the gym, and the young women felt really comfortable in that environment, in that it was all women, young women playing together and having a great time together within a very safe environment.
The camp was another successful activity that has been designed by the young leaders. I personally learned a lot from the young Muslims and non-Muslim kids who were there. We've got to do a lot of activities. We played soccer, which everyone enjoys, because we were playing until 12 o'clock because kids were saying that we want to play, you know. And yeah, and we had Alan Smith from Victoria, from Federal Police, who has come and talked to us about drug and alcohol and the effects and the consequences if you dealing with this, because not many actually have a involvement with the community. So Alan coming there, it was really good. He explained to us what happens, and he also talked about terrorism, you know, how they deal with that. And yeah, that was a great outcome. That, you know, when Alan left, we sat together and talk about what Alan told us, and to see what kids, what were they thinking before Alan, you know, came to talk to us, and what were they thinking after Alan. It was completely different, and that was a huge outcome.
It was a great experience on the camp. I didn't really know a lot about the Muslim faith and Islamic men before I went to the camp, and it was a great opportunity to speak to some of the young men involved and find out what being a Muslim is all about, and prayers and what's halal and everything like that. So it was a great time. Just hanging around the fireplace, talking, you know, eating marshmallows and just The hut building was fun because everyone got involved and we split up into teams and had to build a hut. And the winner was determined by pouring a bucket of water over the huts and seeing who could stay dry. And unfortunately no one did.
I didn't really enjoy the hut building because I was leading the team and we were 6 of us and we thought that we had the best hut, but you know, when the manager, the guy comes and he pours water on us, I'm the only one who got wet, and I loved my jacket, but you know, all the dirt went on me. So yeah, that's why I didn't really enjoy it.
We had 29 young women from diverse backgrounds attend the camp. It was a 3-day camp in beautiful Emerald, so we had a beautiful house to ourselves. The young women felt really comfortable. It felt like they were amongst their family and friends. We had 2 young women from the Preston Mosque, the Islamic Society of Victoria, attend to support Darebin City Council staff. And I thought it went really well. We had a number of workshops. We had a workshop or an information session on cyber safety that was delivered to us by an Australian Federal Police member who came and spoke to the women about using the internet but also staying safe, and that was one of the highlights of the camp. We had a lot of outdoor activities and we had a soccer tournament at the camp that the young women...
I think one of the exciting things, if we heard the different people speaking today, is that this project has outreached even what we dreamed of at the very beginning. I remember when a number of us sat together and began to talk about it. Oh, we might be able to do this, we might be able to do that. Now, 12 months or 15 months on, looking back, some of the achievements are the sense of cooperation, the sense of breaking down of some of the isolation of people. I think both Adu and Fatin and Michael have spoken about the importance of camping and hospitality and the sense of being in a different space and being able to learn to listen and talk and chat. And when you go back and look at the brief of what we wrote about, you know, trying to create a place where for young people there would be not the tendency to violence or to, you know, non-acceptable behaviour, but because of powerlessness, but moving into a place of being accepted and welcomed. I think these guys have proved that the project was incredibly successful. It's built a whole lot of new platforms, hasn't it? New friendships, new senses of networks that we've developed. Both the Darebin Council, DIFC, NIN and DEC are really committed to working and developing and fostering and building on the foundations that have been laid. So it's been an exceptionally great program.
Be patient, brother, hold on. Be patient, sister, be strong. Hang on in there, hang tight. Hang on with all of your might. When it seems like there's nowhere else to turn, and you feel like letting go, hang on, be strong, just be firm. Good things come to those who wait. The patient ones always win. Victory is with those who never let go.